In the Form 12th Economics class, the chapter number 3, Liberalization, Privatization and Globalization, it is the fifth frame. Now the topic here is the effects of liberalization on the taxation policy, or rather to say the tax reforms since 1991 with special reference to liberalization. So before reforms, it will be good that we have a clear idea about what are the taxes are and what is the importance of the taxes. And thirdly, we will take that what were the conditions, what were the main issues and problems. So to address these problems and issues, the liberalization policies have been adopted. So coming to the tax, what is the tax? Tax is a compulsory financial charge on the taxpayer by any government organization. So tax is a compulsory financial charge or some other type of levy imposed upon a taxpayer. Taxpayer may be a person or a firm, whatever it is, by a governmental organization in order to fund various expenditures. See, basically the government take the taxes to spend money on the budgetary issues. Tax is an important component or an important constituent of the government budget, or it is related to the fiscal policy. So tax is one kind of a component which is in the inflow of the funds for the government. So it is the regarding the importance of tax. Taxes are the main source of the government revenue or government budget. Taxes generate funds for government budget. Government utilize these funds in various type of expenditures. On the one hand, government take the money, but there are other components also for the government budget, like tax receipts. Tax receipts, we have two types of taxes we will see here. One is direct tax and other is indirect tax. The other type of revenue or receipts which government gets, that are the non-tax receipts. In that non-tax receipts we have registration fee. Nowadays we have see the challans and other type of fee. Beside this, the other components of the government budget as the receipts, they are the money from the disinvestment, money from the generated through the public sector undertakings, PSUs like railways, and the borrowings from other countries and other international financial institutions like World Bank, IMF, etc., and the receipts of the loans which we have given to the other countries. So these are various type of component or constituents of the budget. But as far as taxes are concerned, taxes, they are considered as an important component or constituent of the government budget. So the fund which government gets, the government also spend this money as the expenditure of the social welfare, infrastructural development like building bridges, metro trains, road and rail infrastructure, dams. Then health and education. Now we are seeing this corona issue. The government is spending a lot for the corona, to face the problem of corona on the health related issues. Then education, law and order, police and other things, defense services, etc. So there are various parts on the which government spend the money. So taxes also serves to achieve the objective of social and economic justice. How? See, the taxes is imposed generally on the rich people or on the consumption, like indirect taxes. So these taxes have been taken from the rich people and it is spent to some extent for the upliftment of the deprived class. So taxes also serve to achieve the objectives of social and economic justice. Taxes are imposed on rich and used for the upliftment of the deprived class of the society. So we can see it is the conclusion that taxes is an important component of budget which is related to the fiscal policy or fiscal policy of the government or government budget. Now coming to the types of taxes. what are the main types of taxes? We have generally two main types of taxes. One is direct tax and one is indirect tax. So it is also good to know what is the difference in the direct tax and indirect tax. See, in the direct tax, the incidence and burden on the same person or same individual or same firm, means the person who is giving the tax, he will also get the impact or burden of the tax. Generally, it is progressive in nature. Progressive in nature means when a tax in which the tax rate increase with the amount of taxable income, that is the progressive nature of the direct tax. For example, income tax, there are different slabs. When the income is high, you have to pay the more tax. So examples of the direct tax are income tax, corporate tax, and wealth tax and property tax. They have been given directly to the government or by the person. Then other is indirect tax. The incidence or burden. Burden means impact. The incidence and burden on different person. The burden is passes on. They are mainly taken for the production, selling and consumption of a commodity. So generally imposed on production, processing, selling of goods and services. The examples of indirect taxes are custom duties. When we import any commodity, we have to pay in the form of tariff, that is custom duty. Then excise duty. Excise duty is the tax to discourage the consumption of some commodities like alcohol, like cigarette, etc. Then value added tax, entertainment tax, and now very importantly GST. This is the ultimate payer is consumer. In the indirect tax, the consumer is the ultimate payer. Now, what were the main issues that needed to be addressed and what were the main problems that needed to be addressed before 1991, before the policy of liberalization or before the reforms of liberalization? So, number one, with the direct tax, we are looking here the main issues and problems of direct tax or with direct tax. Number one is tax evasion and number two is tax avoidance. See, in both the cases, government is getting little or low tax amount. But what is the difference between tax evasion and tax avoidance? They have the same purpose. Tax evasion means not paying the tax by hiding your real income or by showing or reporting the very high expenses which are not real. So, tax evasion, it means not paying the tax by hiding or not declaring real income or showing higher expenses. This is an unlawful act. This tax evasion is not legitimate. It is illegitimate activity. Then the tax avoidance. Tax avoidance means minimizing the tax by following the provisions of law. Okay, so these are the issues with the direct taxes. And other third issue or third problem that existed at that time, that is the complexities in tax filing. It is a very lengthy and difficult and complex process. That time it was very much time consuming. The people have to take the help of the CAs and accountants, and a lot of paperwork was also there. Now, the main issues and problems with indirect tax. There were multiple taxes at multiple levels, and there were no uniformity of the taxes. So the main issues were with the indirect taxes were multiple taxes at center and state level, multiple tax rates, and lack of uniformity in the taxation policies of indirect tax.